What's up, my lunatics? So welcome back to my channel. But if it's your first time, my name is Anastasia Luna, and welcome to you too. All right, guys. So I am continuing the tradition. You look very serious. You're gonna start scaring people.
That's what I do.
I am continuing the tradition of interviewing musicians from all over the world. So today we are having a lead singer from the band Saphath, and the way we actually met, they contacted me on Instagram. And if you watch my live streams, you guys know that I try to do reaction videos to new up-and-coming bands. And then you guys will see, we're going to talk about growls, we're going to talk about extreme vocals and stuff like that. So when I see somebody with really good growls, I'm like, show me the magic, teach me your ways. And Alex was gracious enough to actually have a meeting with me, and we talked about it. And he was like, honestly, like, I can't even explain this to you, but I have somebody who can, in a very scientific way. And now I'm learning all these growls, and YouTube forever. And I don't know what I would have done without YouTube. I would never learn growls. All right, so let's go. Alex Duraev with us today. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's Friday for me. I know it's Thursday for you, 9 a.m., my last working day on the week. Well, I don't really have days off, like, at all. But for my main job, that's my last working day, and I'm like, yes.
So you are being a bad employee and actually doing YouTube on the clock at work?
Yes.
Well, at least you're honest.
No hiding there.
Your voice is like, I mean, I know we spoke before when we had that meeting, and I remember that like low register in your voice. But like now that I'm talking to you, I'm like, oh my God. I actually had a class today with the guy who you introduced me to. We'll talk about him later. And we were talking about Alex Terrible and his vocals. And he was like, well, see how low it is. And now I'm talking to you and I'm like, oh my God, it's like so low. Like, it's really cool. All right. Tell us a little bit about you, because I don't know anything. Where were you born? Were you born in a family of artists, musicians, or you are the only one that is crazy like that? And where exactly in Russia you are and stuff like that.
So to begin with, far east of Russia, Sakhalin Island, is the biggest island in Russia, and it's like right north of Japan. So literally from the place where I'm at right now, it's like 50 miles to Hokkaido, and it used to be a Japanese territory before the World War II. So it is an interesting city where I'm at right now. I was born here. I was born in little town in the center of the island. So anyways, the city I live in, the city where Saphath is based at, is quite an interesting place because it introduces quite a unique, I'd say, cultural mix. We got plenty of Koreans around the place. We have the remains of Japanese culture, like Japanese buildings and stuff. I'm gonna show you pictures a bit later on once we're done with this one. So yeah, it really is a cool place, a beautiful city. I like it a lot. But being so remote from Moscow, it is super expensive on one hand. On the other hand, well, we are kind of free people.
Okay.
So like being so remote from the king in the Kremlin palace has its own benefits.
Have you ever been to Japan?
Not a single time.
Oh.
Like, it is super easy. I mean, before COVID, I could easily take a 2-hour flight to Tokyo and be in Japan. And I mean, staying where we are, the visa obtaining process is like 2 days. That's not a benefit of
right there. Here. Yeah, it's like I used to live in Karelia on the Russian side, right by Karelia in Finland. And actually somebody told me after I already moved here, I saw people from Finland, and they were like, well, do you know that if you live there for a certain amount of time, you could have gotten citizenship from Finland, because like they give it to people in the Karelia on the Russian side. And I'm like, what? Like, what the hell? So yeah,
and you're telling me that now?
I know. I'm like, I've been there for 5 years, and my father was in the military, so like I'm not sure if we were even eligible for that, but that was the case. So tell me about your family. Do you have any siblings, or you're just the only one in the family?
I have an older brother and older sister, and they are significantly older. My brother is 15 years older than me. Sister
Oh,
is
you're a
13 years.
baby.
I am, yeah. Like my brother is turning 50 pretty soon, like in a couple of years, and yeah. Usually, old school Soviet family.
Okay.
whereas father is an excavator driver, and mom is a teacher, like super stereotypical.
Oh, really? So, I mean, were they into music? Was music always a big part of your life, or it was just kind of you that started listening to that stuff?
No, not really. No, they're far away from art. My dad is a crazy person in a way.
Okay.
He is a super deep introvert. He cannot talk with people. He has issues building a long sentence.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like he's like, screw you people, I hate you all. And I inherited the voice from him. He's not that.
Definitely.
Yeah, he also has a real low voice and real harsh voice too. He's like,
You don't have harsh voice. You just have very deep voice, and then you can make it harsh. All the harsh vocals. But I don't hear any like raspiness or like abuse in your voice. It's very clear. It's very like glass.
Well, yeah, mine is better developed to a lyrical way. I'd say they call it lyrical bass, and that is like real raspy. But that's probably because he's been working out on cold for his entire life. And like the place where I was born, the place where my parents still live, is a really cold place. It's like minus 50 Celsius every winter in there. Yep.
I mean, I live in Karelia, like I know what cold is, but honestly, to me, anything below 70 degrees is like it's cold to me right now, and it's like 65. Like I can't.
Uh-huh.
So, did you like in your family, did you listen to just like a regular, like what's on TV kind of music?
Well, I can't really remember any music playing in my parents' place whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody, I'm a 90s kid, right? And I don't have to explain you what 90s kid is, but I guess it is a little bit of background information for those who are going to be watching this interview. So like being a 90s kid in Russia, especially in suburbs in Russia, is pretty much a struggle for survival. So that imagine that your family has no money at all. They have jobs, but they don't get paid on these jobs. They are lucky if they are fed in the workplace. So yeah, it was a struggle for survival for like 10 years, and no time for fun whatsoever. And grabbing a stick and hitting grass with it is probably what the most fun kids could have back in that days. And like when I was growing up, since I was like 44 years old, my parents would tell me, well, if you want a piece of meat on your plate, just go to the forest and
shoot a bear.
Kill a hare. Well, I was too young to shoot a bear, but killing a hare or a bird.
That's like you're like a Mowgli. So when was
Well,
the first time
yeah.
you heard anything that remotely close to the music that you do now?
Well, once you are staying on this topic and we're keeping on that, I kind of start remembering things. Because my brother, he had this little tape player, set player, whatever you want to call it, and yeah, and yeah, he had a couple of tapes of Sepultura back then, so I pretty much grew up like listening to Sepultura in my really first years of my life. Then it kind of stopped because my brother left home. Not gonna go into particularities of it, and yeah. Then like I got to my 11, I heard Rammstein and Limp Bizkit, and I'm like, oh.
How old were you?
About 11.
Okay, that's good. I don't think I've heard Rammstein at 11. I mean, I did listen to The Purple, Queen, Pink Floyd since I was like 3 years old, but I didn't hear Rammstein till like high school. So
Yep.
And what did you think?
I'm like, hell, that's a lot of energy. I'm digging that.
Okay.
I mean, I've been a real active kid back then, and I turned into puberty early. It just happened finger click. It was like a summer evening. I'm going to bed, all with this, childish voice, and then I wake up and I have real massive bass and a beard going.
Oh God!
Like, oh, so much for a 12-year-old kid,
And did you try to maybe? Were you the only one listening to Rammstein, like in your school or like amongst your friends? Did you try to like, you know what? Let me try to get together like a band or like try to play an instrument or something like that.
Well, it came like a year later, but no, I wasn't really the only one. I was always hanging out with older boys, like with those who were about to graduate, and they, of course, had bigger variety, bigger understanding of music. And then the other kids of my age, they were like, "Hey, we want to try to make a band, and you have a real cool bassy voice. Maybe you join us." And I'm like, hell yeah.
And how old were you?
About 13, 14-ish. But it's like, it's funny to call it a band, because like a drummer hitting cardboard boxes with the sticks.
Oh wow.
And like, it's not even garage days,
Uh-huh.
It's basement days.
Okay. And you just sang, right? Did you write it?
I just sang. I wasn't even close to writing back then. But then I've been hanging out with these boys, and I learned a lot of new music from, again, the older guys who were their friends, and they were already studying in university, and they would bring CDs to our town when they had days off. And first I got familiar with Machine Head. I'm like, wow, that's serious metal. That's what I dig. And what turned my world upside down was Cradle of Filth record.
Oh, really? That's interesting. I was just literally thinking about them because, but literally I just, for the past 2 days, I'm like, I gotta do like some reactions to Cradle of Filth. Yeah, but they are not like, they're still very different from what you do now.
Well, you gotta evolve, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So that was Cradle of Filth. And did you ever show that kind of music to your parents? Because my mom is a theater director, my father is a singer. So, like, in my family, any kind of self-expression, whether you want to be a drag queen or wear leather pants and sing rock and roll, like, that was all very acceptable. But I feel like if I showed them something like Suicide Silence or Cradle of Filth, they would be like, what is happening? We did something wrong while raising you, Anastasia. So how did you ever show it to your parents?
I don't really remember because, like, since I was 14, I don't think I really cared for parents' opinion.
Okay. Okay, that's one way to put it. Okay.
It's like something is playing in my room, and
But did they ever say, like, oh my God, like, what is that sound coming out?
mom would be like, "Hey, what the hell is that?"
And what
Okay,
about your siblings?
whatever.
What about your siblings? Did they listen to the same kind of music?
No, they never did. But even though my brother is not listening to any heavy music anymore, he's still able to appreciate it, and as
Okay.
well as my sister. My sister is a really quiet lady, so you don't really hear any opinions from her. Like, she's super soft person, super kind-hearted. She's that kind of
She's like your father. Everything is like here.
yeah. She's the kind of person who sees a homeless dog or cat and immediately brings it home.
Okay. Okay. All right. So it was 14 when you started listening to Cradle of Filth. Were you still in the same basement band? Or did you even think, like, you know what, I want to be that, I want to do that? Or was it always kind of like a hobby and like, you know what, I'm going to go to university, do my 9 to 5 job, and then I'm going to be like metal musician on the side? Or did you start having those dreams of making it big?
That's exactly where I started having those dreams, as you say. I'm like, hey, I can do this shit too. Like, well, singing, why don't I just improve in it? And I probably will hardly find any people who will think the same as me, so I better try and start learning songwriting. So I dug into Cradle of Filth because the very concept of putting together real heavy metal and orchestrals is something that twisted my mind back then, and something I still pursue till now. I still think that the more instruments you have playing at the moment of time, the better it is.
All
so
right.
Yeah,
So
kind of started evolving, learning the Guitar Pro tabs, because that's the easiest way to learn it, and having no musical background.
Do you play guitar?
Yeah, I started playing guitar back then too. Can't say I'm a real good player, but at least I play good enough to start composing something. So I've just been doing that for quite a continuous time period, and then got to the point when the music I would compose sounds decent.
Okay, and how old were you at that time?
Hell if I remember. I guess by 23, I started writing decent music. And
you were still at the university at that time, or you already finished university?
I already graduated from the university. I entered it when I was 16 and graduated. Well, yeah, I was quick. I skipped a couple of years in school.
So when did you start performing?
Performing. Whoa. When was it? I'm under impression it was around 17, I started performing with a couple of bands as a bass player.
Oh,
And,
okay.
yeah, I love playing bass. And pull a string and then everything is shaking around you. And I'm like, yeah, that's proper seismic activity.
Okay.
That's like my heel massage.
I see. And at that time, did you already have that growl, deep growl that you have now, or did you just sing with clean vocals?
I started singing with growls. So clean vocals is something I got to a bit later.
Oh, so it was the other way. Okay. So let's talk about growls, since I am obsessed with that subject now, and I'm literally from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. That's all I do. And so far I wasn't evicted. I haven't been evicted yet by my roommates because I'm like just walking around and growl. Now that I'm understanding and more, and now that I have actual teacher and everything, like I understand how much it is there. And it's not just like, it's not just a scream, because like sometimes you hear people, and we actually were discussing it today during the class, that some people just feel like it's just a scream, which is, it's not. There's so many things. So like, and I feel like we even had that discussion. I was like, so that, and you were like, no. And now I'm like, oh my God, I had a completely different impression of it, and it sounds completely different. So you started performing at 17. So I'm assuming you started learning growls around that time as well. How did you even
a bit earlier than that, but
a bit earlier than that? So I'm sure at that time there was even less information, way less information about that subject. So did you think that you kind of was able to figure it out right away, the correct way, or did you go through all of that, all those screaming and all those weird abusive kind of like ways of?
Of course, I've been pushing my voice to the limit, like literally no information, as you say. And when I started, I didn't even have internet to find something out. So I've been trying this and that, trying different positions, and I've been just looking for the position where my voice wouldn't hurt as much. So that was the right way of thinking.
Yes.
But then I found this position, and I was wrong, which I found out.
Just like I was wrong at the beginning. I'm like, look at me, I'm growling. And then my teacher is like, no, you're not. So
I've been producing this sound like at the very low place of my throat, and I wasn't using false chords or
like
whatever.
Yes, the voice. That's what I was doing, and yeah, it has nothing to do with like what real growl is.
What I did is I was producing the sound with the bones you have here in your throat. So like with a throat this big, you can do that.
Okay, like Alex, that's terrible. Okay.
Yeah, and that's completely wrong.
How long did it take you to really understand and get to that place, like of the actual real growl?
Of the actual real growls, let's say I've been doing it wrong for like maybe 10 years. And I had 2 albums recorded with my past band, Aeterus. It was like pretty decent, melodic death metal. If you put together Children of Bottom and Arch Enemy, that's what you're gonna get. So I had 2 albums. No, I'm wrong. 1 album out with this band, and then they kind of went all over the place, and they're like, nah, no music for us anymore. I'm like, the hell, guys.
Oh no. Okay.
And funny enough, it started with keyboard player. He's like, oh, boys, I'm waiting for the second kid. And the guitarist is like,
responsibilities start, it is hard. Like I am working with people now that have those responsibility, have children, have mortgages, have jobs, and it's just like
Yeah.
I'm like the only one that I mean I have like my own thing that I do, but like it like the life gets in the way, definitely. And it's so annoying when you're like the only one that is like, let's go, and people like, yeah, I'm having a kid, which is not bad, but I'm like, yeah.
Well, it was just a reason to move on, and that's good.
That's a good positive way to look at it. Yeah.
The like your typical or not so typical, but still kind of typical melodic death metal is not really something that I feel is good enough for me, because I need something bigger, something more variable to unleash all the crazy stuff that's happening in my head, to put some ideas into. And that was the point for me to call to arms and make Saphath going.
So at that time, you already had your real growls by that time, or you were still looking for that sound?
I was still looking for that sound. So let's say with Saphath, I've been planning this band since 2013, I believe. Yeah,
oh, wow.
2013. Yeah, and I've written quite some music in my GTP tabs. I had it on the back of my desk somewhere all this time, but I couldn't really find the right people. And
tell me about it. That's
yeah,
it's always a problem.
Took me 6 years.
It's kind of how long it takes. And like I'm like in New York, and it's so hard to find people. Like it's just impossible. And plus metal, I always keep telling people that, you know, when I complain about, well, I can't find this person, I can't find that person, they're like, well, you live in New York. And I'm like, okay, but I do metal. And when you play metal, especially metal that I want to do, you have to be an elite musician. You can't just, it's not punk, it's not throwing shit. Like, I don't like punk, but you know, it's not like hip hop where you can learn 2 chords and just kind of like, you know, we can do something about this. With metal,
or just get away without any chords.
Or any chords, yeah. You have to be an elite musician. You have to find people that have been playing. They have, if not degrees in music, they have to have this amazing experience and a lot of talent. And it is really, really hard. And usually those people are already taken. So I definitely understand your struggle, because this is my fucking struggle. And I'm like in New York, you know, I'm in fucking New York, and I can't find people that are just like, you know, it will happen. So I totally understand the 6 years of search. So how did that happen? How did Saphath happen? Did you find one person, and then that person knew another person, and then this, and then this, and then you all got together?
So I guess I'll go with a little band introduction right now. I had some music written, and I showed it to a couple of my friends, and they're like, well, that's elite. And one of these friends, Dmitry, who's the guitarist player in Saphath right now, the blondie guy,
okay,
he's a guitarist player and vocalist in 2 other bands. It's Autopsy Night, quite well-known death metal band around Russia, and Run Hatred, a real underground black metal band. So it kind of starts with Autopsy Night, because it was the year of 2019, and it was a good year for their touring. They've been playing with Cannibal Corpse in Serbia, and then they went to Metal Days in Slovenia, and I'm like, Metal Days, open air metal festival in Europe. That's how I want to spend my summer. And I went there with them, and me and Dmitry are just laying back on a hill and drinking beer, and I'm like, hey, do you remember this symphonic stuff I've been showing you? He's like, yeah, dude, where we are at is the right place to put it. Like, if you do it quality, oh man, that's gonna hit hard. And I'm like, yep. And this conversation happened just after we've been to a Rotten Christ show.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've been to Dimmu Borgir show.
Okay.
And Dimmu Borgir is a serious symphonic stuff, you know.
Oh, you started talking to one guy and then it all morphed from a different band into your band, or?
No. I only found a person who kind of thinks the same as me.
Okay.
Like, we really have a good vibe of working together. We can grab some wine, sit together in his room where he has all kinds of, hardware, guitars and stuff like that. And we can just compose a song over one evening, and it's going to be a good song done from scratch, with all the symphonic arrangements, with probably even choirs and stuff like that. That's the way for us to have fun.
And he's a guitar player, or he's a...
Yeah, he's a guitar player. Yeah. And he does most of the instrumental recording too.
That's awesome to find a person like that. That's like half of your job is done right there. Like,
yeah, pretty much. And you see, I'm not the kind of person who can stay on the same topic for a long time. I'm thinking too fast, and I'm jumping from one thing to another, and I'm just generating ideas like I'm an open stream. Mm-hmm. And Dima, he's a really organized guy, and he's like consuming my ideas, and he's like, oh hell, and starts putting everything in order. He's he values order above all else, I'd say.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So how did you find the rest of the people?
And the rest of the people, we needed an emotional solo in one of the songs, and Dimo was like, hey, I know a guy in Komsomolsk-on-Amur. He's a real good guitarist. He's like virtuoso. He probably is the guy to make a solo for you, because I'm not really big for solos, you know. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, we're calling this guy, and we're like, hey, dude, I don't know you, but do you want to record a solo for our song? He's like, yeah, whatever, guys. Send the song over to me. Sending him the song. He's making a massive, goddamn emotional solo for The Land of My Dreams. That's the last song on the album. We're listening to this, and I'm like, I want this guy in my band. Had a little conversation. He's like, was that something symphonic, something with death metal, and you're like implementing all kinds of metal things you can possibly think of? And I'm like, yeah, that's the concept. Like, I want every band member to do whatever they want. We'll find a proper use for any idea. And he's like, hell yeah, I like it. I'm digging it. I'm with you.
And he's is he the one that is a bit far away from you? He's not like...
He's living in Moscow right now, yes.
Mm-hmm. So how does that work? Because that has been my struggle too. I find a lot of great musicians, but they're somewhere, and it's just hard to get everybody together for like a rehearsal or a live show, especially when you're not getting paid basically at the very beginning, you know, for live shows. And, you know, to do a music video, somebody has to fly somewhere. So how does all that logistics works for you?
Well, flying one person is not a big deal.
Yeah.
It is kind of a big deal considering the size of Russia. Like from Moscow to Sakhalin, mm-hmm. which is like the entire country. Mm-hmm. Nevertheless, it's just one person to fly. And recording is not an issue. He only has to record his solos. Nobody else in the goddamn country probably can't even play. If you check out our song Asphodel Meadows, that's some face burning solo in there. Don't really think I know someone else who'd be able to play it. And yeah, he can record his solos in Moscow, send them over to us.
Do you have any plans on like performing soon?
Not anytime soon. We had our first tour in July.
Oh, okay.
We went around the far east of Russia, been through several cities, and we made profit.
Wow. That's awesome. That's actually big because it's good if you break even. Like that's considered good. With all the equipment, the traveling, the hotels, the buses, the cars, like if you break even, you're good. But the fact that you made profit, how did you even book all of those venues? And
we've been just talking to people, implementing the policy. Life gets easier when you talk to people.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so talk to me about the song that we're gonna play, which is Outcast of Eden. How did you come up with the idea? What the song is about? How did it all come together?
So that actually was the first song we made a demo of. It was much a trial for the guitarist. This Dima, who I mentioned already, has been the guitarist since the very beginning of the idea. Then we tried working with another guitarist of the same band, Autopsy Night, and he actually was the one who wrote the song. I only added the orchestrals to it, a little bit of choirs and stuff like that. But yeah, he wrote the song, and we didn't get along, and he had to leave the band before it started. We're still good friends, and stuff like that. I've been just seeing him last Saturday.
I just want to point out for everyone out there that's going to be listening to this that the choir that you're hearing on that song is actually a live choir, which actually blew my mind. And you send me the clips of like actual girls like recording all this choir, because that's not a thing. People in metal, some metal, don't even record live drums anymore. They're using a drum machine, and then go and like perform live. So the fact that you had a live choir, and like there are a lot of very, very respectable symphonic metal bands out there, and I'm not going to name any names, but 99% of them using choirs that are already programmed. Those are not live choirs, and there's nothing wrong with that. We live in a digital age, to record symphonic orchestra with a choir on top of it, it's enormous amount of work. And right now we live at a time where you have to produce music, especially if you're a famous band, you have to produce music like this. So everybody, almost every single band out there is using programmed choirs. And the fact when I saw that you using live choirs, it was like, oh my God, like it literally blew my mind. It was fucking awesome. So let's just listen a little bit about it. And then you're going to talk to me about the concept for the video. Also, you look so like this mysterious devil in the video. And I just, even though I've been listening to metal for a while, to rock music, I just love the fact how a lot of metal people look like they just came from hell. And then you talk to them and they're like the sweetest people in the world. So that's just awesome. Always so cool. All right, this is going to be Saphath, Outcast of Eden. Let's talk about this. First of all, I know I've seen this video before, but when I did it during my live stream. But the things that when I do my live stream, I miss out on a lot of things because there are 10 songs. I have to read. I have to do this. There's so many things going on that I miss out on a lot of things. And this is actually the second time that I'm listening to it. And I'm seeing so much more than I saw before. First of all, I think the video is fucking badass. And for the band that is, up and coming band that is like not signed with a major label, that doesn't have like shit ton of money to put into this, I think the video shot in a way that is just like, I would think that is like, okay, fucking Napalm Records just released a new band. Like that would be my opinion, because like how the camera shakes, the costumes, your makeup, the acting behind it. Then I love the fact that you are switching from the stage, the kind of like a live performance, into like the woods, and then there's a cathedral or something, because a lot of bands get lazy and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna rock it out in like an empty warehouse, and it still looks cool, it has right to exist. But I mean, there are so many videos like that and it just gets so old. So talk to me about the video. How did you even like get the budget for it? Because I feel like you spent a penny on it, and just everything about the video.
So, okay, I actually had a budget for Saphath first album, and I spent quite some time putting it together, even before we started recording the album. I'm like, 1 million rubles would be good enough for the album.
Hold on, I don't know what my 1 million for the album, not for the video.
For the album, including the video and all this ordeal. So I gotta briefly go through the band members a little bit, because that will matter in this conversation. So once we found the second guitar player, the bass player joined us almost immediately. He's been our good friend for quite some time.
$16,000 on an album, is it correct? I'm trying to like
pretty much, yes.
You spent $16,000. Oh my God. I mean, I probably spend more over the course of all the stuff that I've done, but like just to have a budget and put all of this, I mean, you gotta believe, if you don't invest in yourself, nobody will invest in you. So yeah, but fuck, that's a lot of fucking money. Good for you.
Well, yeah. Kinda, it was hard to make this money to begin
That's like
with.
an apartment, not an apartment, but like you probably could buy something where you are.
Not really, no. We are really overpriced in housing.
Oh fuck, that's still expensive. All right, so you had that budget.
It's like 1/8 of an apartment.
1/8. I mean, still, fuck. That's
exactly when I started putting together the budgets. When I got my mortgage paid off. The rest would go for a Saphath budget.
Okay.
Oh well, yeah. So anyways, our bass player is the guy of many talents in logistics and all this kind of stuff. If you need something done with hands, that's the guy. That's the kind of guy.
Yeah,
that's what we Russians call golden hands.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. So he actually saved a lot of trouble when filming this video. That's why I bring him in. And who shot the video? Do you know the movie director by the name of Lars von Trier? Antichrist, Nymphomaniac, The House That Jack Built. Now, none of these movies ring the bell? Well, okay. This pretty famous, I'd say, semi-art house filmmaker. and the video was shot by his apprentice who lives in St. Petersburg.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been looking for different people to shoot the music video, and I've been talking to Slaughter to Prevail's clip maker,
Okay.
and he was done with it for the first stages of conversation, but then we sent him the scenario for the video. He's like, no, guys, I'm not doing the plot-based stuff. I'm into, throwing some bright episodes, random episodes into the video and looking cool, but no, I'm not doing anything plot-based. I'm like, well, okay. And I started looking for different people and found this guy in St. Petersburg, talked with him nicely, got a discount.
Okay.
Really, we found a lot of things in common, and he looked through the plot and he's like, okay, flying out in 2 weeks, you guys better be ready. And then we had 2 weeks of utter madness preparing all this stuff, because all the props are handmade. It's our bass player and me. This throne in the forest, it's not like we found a badass drum. No, hell, we made it.
You literally go all in, because when I need something, I'm like, I'll overnight it from Amazon, and then I'll add something to it. But you guys recording live choir, adding building a throne, you're literally behind every single little detail of what you do. That's fucking awesome.
Well, you want stuff done right, do it yourself, right?
Yep.
So we made all the props with our hands, like these little rubies I spill into Sasha's hand. Yeah, they even them, we made even them. Then lots of our friends helped us, of course. The costumes, it's 50% handmade too. So yeah, and the scenes when we have the band playing, it's our local puppet theater, which is closing for summer, which was really handy for us.
Okay.
The director of the movie, he's an actor in this theater, our good friend too, and the light worker is his older brother, who works in the theater too. So
okay.
the art of making friends.
I know. I need to make more friends, I guess, in places.
Yeah, so I'm super grateful to every person who helped. That's what I'm gonna say. And this guy who was directing the video, he's now a full-time roadie with Saphath. He's doing light in our live shows, because we don't rely on people they would have in place. When we were touring, we bring our sound guy and our light guy with us, because to help with that, our music is way too complicated to rely on local people. We better pay these two guys, but have a 100% guarantee of a good show, given that equipment wouldn't fail us.
So why are you saying that you don't want to book in more shows in the near future? You want to focus on more just getting people to know online, or just submitting it to labels, or what's the next half a year?
First of all, for the remaining half year, we have Halloween that is coming in 10 days, and the dark people like us have to make a Halloween gift to our audience, and it's gonna be the single we announced a couple of days ago. It's gonna be called Spider Queen's Call. It's our dark Halloween fairy tale. That's gonna be the first song where we introduce the solo parts of our female vocalist, because like she doesn't have solo parts on the album. She joined a bit late when we were about to finish the recording, and she's a choir director. She's the only person with formal musical education in our band, so she was taking care of the choir. She actually joined for this very reason, and then stayed for we are such good friends.
Okay.
Yeah, and she also is a bass player's girlfriend. It matters not in the context. So that's the girl you see in the video. That's the girl in the church, and who's traveling the footsteps of the dark prophet.
Okay. Have you been trying to show it to some labels or any?
Well, when the album was getting prepared, only what would we show to the labels? The demo records, well, they're like getting like 100 of those every day, and they're like,
I mean, they do want to see unreleased music sometimes.
they might want to see unreleased music, but there is great chance they would scoff at you, since they are getting so many demo records every day, and we sent our stuff to several labels, don't get me wrong, but we wouldn't stop doing our own stuff,
of course,
just to wait till a label would be like, hey guys, you're great, we're buying you. And we didn't stop, and by the time we needed to do the sound work, we'd be like, hey, what do we need a label for?
No,
all the recording is done.
You don't really need a label right now. It's just easier when you book like big festivals. All right, so let's talk about the second song. All right, so let's talk about your other song that I did do reaction video to, The Raven. That's the name of the song. So again, going back to the whole thing that you guys do, every single little detail is like thought through and done by you or the members of the band or the friends of the members of the band. So for all of people out there that, you know, all the lyric video out there are done by people from Fiverr for like $40. And there's nothing wrong with that because I do that. But these guys actually took 4 months to produce an actual animated video. Like it's an actual animation that's been done for that specific song. It took 4 months. It took shit ton of work. It took people and work and everything. And again, and I don't even know how you guys, it's just, I'm actually kind of happy that I met you. Well, you contacted me and we met, but I don't think I've seen a band or like the band leader that's like, no, we're literally gonna think about every single little detail, because we live in the age of and I mean that's the truth. It's not bad, it's not good, it is what it is. You know, we live in the age of like TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, where you can get famous from algorithms from like 15-second video that you do in your
quality over quality. Yes.
In the living room, and then all of a sudden you are signed, you know. And I'm not saying this is bad, because that's the progress, that's what we're at right now. I still have yet to figure out fucking TikTok. I'm like stupid with it. I mean, I know it, but like YouTube works for me. Instagram and TikTok is just, I don't know, like I cannot break to those algorithms, which is totally fine. But what I'm saying is that it's so cool to see bands like yours that are like authentic in everything they do. And I'm not gonna like bash all of those artists, because there are a lot of really good artists on TikTok. There are a lot of good musicians on TikTok, you know, that actually record something phenomenal in their living room and then, you know, get social media famous and then actually find a band and then get signed. And there are really good musicians. But it's just so awesome to see you that is like, you know what, I am gonna invest into my lyric video and I'm gonna spend 4 months doing it, and I'm gonna find an animator, and I'm gonna find like it's just so like kind of like a breath of fresh air when everything is like so digitalized and sped up and 15 seconds. And then you see the band that is just like, nah, like we're gonna do everything like right. So that's really, really cool. So for all of you guys that are listening out there, just want to remind you that this took a lot of effort, and this is not just an animation like I do. I would just go and I just like steal a bunch of different animation videos. So like I did this video for Darkness that is anime, and I just stole a lot of different like 3 seconds anime from all over the world, and this guy put it all together and it looks good. But you guys went like old school road, did everything how it's supposed to be done. So let's listen
from scratch. Yeah.
Let's listen to this, and then we're going to talk about this a little bit more. So this is The Raven, and this is official lyric video, even though it could totally be a music video. All right, All right, so let's talk about this. Again, this is my second time listening to it. When I do live streams, there's just so much going on. I have to answer that. And, listening to it for the second time, it's like, damn, yo, like, this is some good shit. I'm going to say I'm obsessed with Gary Vaynerchuk. I love him. And he always says that there's no such a thing as competition. If you produce the best shit, you gonna win. It doesn't matter what everyone else does. It doesn't matter that we live in a different era, that we live in, people getting famous from 15-second videos. It doesn't matter that people digitalize everything and barely play anything live anymore. If you produce the best shit, you're gonna win. So I'm honestly rooting for you guys, because like I'm listening to this like for the second time, and it's just like, it's so good. Like there's literally nothing that I could be like, like, oh, if they did this over here, probably, and I would change this over here. And I always have shit to say,
Yep.
But like, but with this, I'm like really rooting for you. So tell me about this video. Tell me about why lyric video, why not music video? How did you come up with the animation? How did you meet people, etc., etc.?
Well, you see, everything about Saphath, you probably want to check some lyrics whenever you get time for it. But lyrics are quite complicated. I'm exercising poetry big time. And we definitely needed a lyric video to introduce that, especially given that The Raven is actually a poetic exercise. So you know that The Raven is the poem by Edgar Allan Poe, and I figured like that's one of my, let's say, poetic exercises. I take a poem by a famous poet and add lines to it, so that it is 50% of the poet's bars and 50% of my lines. And I'm trying to...
I'm going to try that. Continue. I'm writing this down.
And I'm doing that just for fun, for the exercise, and the concept is just to maintain the initial style, the initial rhythmics of the poem. I'm doing that quite often with Edgar Poe, Shakespeare, Baudelaire, and
How do
yeah,
you rhyme to Shakespeare with the Old English?
I'm maintaining stylistics. That's what I
Okay.
said in the very beginning. So, and it's not actual Old English. That's Middle English, which is a
I'm
bit
sorry.
easier
I
than
know
that.
everybody. Alex speaks like 70 million languages, like 4 languages fluently, and then 10 others that he understands. So I'm sorry, we are peasants here speaking 2 languages. So
All right. So, anyways, back to the topic. The Raven is just one of my exercises in poetry. I thought, hey, why would the guy in this original poem just, sit in his place and hide away from the entire world? Probably there was a plague around, and I twisted this poem in the way that it speaks about plague that kills out the entire town. And then I wrote that, and the COVID broke out. I was like, hell yeah, I predicted another.
can you predict something good? God.
Just not really, I'm a super dark person. So yeah. Anyway, I felt like your usual lyric video is not good enough for me. I wanted it animated, and I brought some images from inspired by original poem and twisted them a little bit to introduce the plague topic, and took a game called Darkest Dungeon as a reference. So we follow the same artistic style, which is quite simple but stylish. I'd say that. So yeah, and it turned out that we can really make a good video with an artist and an animator from Moscow, just two people.
Is it expensive to make a video like this? Because I'm always looking for different people to do lyric videos for me.
Not really, if you implement the art of making friends.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, so I'm really happy with this video, even though I have some issues with that, which are gonna be fixed in the next one that's coming out for
Of course
Halloween.
you probably like look at the finished product and you're like, I hate it. I want to change this and that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially the music video we've been talking about earlier, Outcast. Hell, I hate this song because I listened to it for like 10,000 times so far when filming the video, when performing it, rehearsing it. It's just been too much of this song when writing the scenario. But again, I think it is quite a good video. There are things to improve, but it is quite a good video, and I'm happy with everyone, their good actorship. Yeah, I guess I can say that. And many people kind of see that. You've been the one who commented about face expression and playing the.
When you come to her and you're like.
Yeah. I liked your comments. Thank you.
So have you showed this video to your parents or any of your music?
I think my mom heard some of my music. She's like, well, that kind of sounds decent, but instead of wasting your time doing that, you better find another job.
Okay, and your father?
I'm like, 3 jobs is not enough.
Yeah, you told me you do work. And have you showed it to your sister and brother?
Yes, and they dig it. And my brother has the CD with our album in his car.
Okay.
When he's having a long trip, he puts it up, not to fall asleep.
And what about people that you work with? When you brought it to them, if you brought it to them, were they like, we're not gonna?
They're like, hell yeah!
Because it's probably a big switch from like a corporate environment to like, I'm coming from hell to get you.
Corporate environment, my ass. I've been.
Oh, you're not? Okay. Because you dressed up like a corporate,
I am sitting in the office right now, yes, but I'm working for a drilling company, like oil and gas drilling. And I've been working on an oil rig for 8 years. More than that. Anyways, and the guys in drilling, they're your simple badass workers, tough as nails, and many people out there actually like heavy music.
Okay.
Heavy work, heavy labor, heavy music.
All right. So let's finish up with anything that you want to tell people about your band, about your plans, 5-year plan, new music, new performances. What can we expect from you soon?
5-year plan is so Soviet of you.
No, I'm just saying, like, whatever you want to say about your band, about your plans.
No, I'm just kidding. So, anyways, let me finish the story about the band real quick. So we are a 6-piece band, 2 guitarists, bass player who I mentioned, the female vocalist who is the actual choir director, and the first plan is related to her. We want to introduce more of her solo vocals because we don't have any solo parts for her on the album, but we have her singing in the live performances.
Okay.
So we kind of changed our material. We have a drummer who has a habit of not showing his face at all. Nobody knows what he looks like.
Okay.
Except for the band members, of course. That's just his. It's just his thing, his way of having fun, something like that. I guess I'm too shiny and smiling person for the kind of music our band is playing. But anyways, yeah, it's gonna be as dark, as depressive as it is right now. It's gonna be even darker. It's gonna be a bit heavier. It's gonna introduce female vocals into a bigger extent. Our next plan is to release the Halloween single, which I already mentioned, Spider Queen Skull. It's gonna surprise people a little. You're gonna be the one who's gonna dig it. I'm telling you, that's totally your kind of stuff.
All right.
Absolutely. It is darker. It's a little bit simpler in the song structure, but it's more symphonic, more melodic, and introducing the full-scale female vocals. And totally your thing, as I see your music taste. And we gonna probably reissue one song, the longest song of the album this year. A little bit error fixing and a little bit of improvement. It's gonna be the same song but 2.0. Also I'm rocking full speed working on the second album. Not gonna be touring this year because pretty much you can't travel around Russia this year.
Yeah, it's probably not the best time to leave your city.
You can't really travel around even inside the country a lot, and going outside of the country is out of the question.
Yeah.
So, well, we have to live with it. We'll probably take some time and build a decent stage which can house us in in our city, because there is no.
Yeah, I fucking count with you. Like fucking building stages, like that's fucking insane. So what are you gonna do with it? Like you're just gonna have your own theater, Saphath Theater?
That's actually a good idea.
You could
Never thought of.
you could do the whole like Halloween metal, dark stuff, and like haunted house and metal concerts.
It won't buy off whatsoever, and it is quite a sketchy idea, because that takes a lot of investment, but we don't have a decent stage in our city, and the ones we have a couple of decent ones, don't take me wrong, but getting on them is something out of this world. So we'll look at what we
So
can
you want to
do.
build like the venue or just like the stage somewhere? Like how you planning that?
We need to have a venue. I don't know. It's not even in plans. It's probably one of the directions we can take. Anyways, the most important part is working on the second album, since we are pretty much studio bound this year. We're gonna plan touring for the next year. We have a couple of ideas on paper for now. Having a pretty good chance of taking 20 cities this time. Yeah.
Nice. How is your job looking at all of that? You're going to be away for 20 days. I mean, 20 days, probably more than 20 days.
Yeah, about a month, I guess. Well, I just won't tell anyone.
That's the beauty of internet. You can just work from your computer. That's
yeah. I guess
I'm like
I guess I
fucking
can
jealous,
come to understand it.
I just can't wait to perform live. Like I'm so fucking over writing and recording music and like recording studios and like having all this internet kind of conversations. I just want to fucking go and like perform and do live shit and like so yeah, I'm very jealous. Maybe we'll cross paths at some festival somewhere when I get my shit.
Hopefully. So how's the couple of words? How's Lunar Rhapsody doing right now?
It's doing fine. The thing is that it did start over the course of Corona, and people all over the place in terms of like locations. Yep. People have responsibilities, people have children, and I'm the only one that is like, let's go, so I did do two.
That's why I brought the younger people in.
Tell me about that. Yeah,
they're like around 25-ish.
Yep. So we did 2 lyric videos. I just shot actually a music video for one of the songs, so we're gonna edit that. But the thing is that like I don't want to talk about it. It's kind of it seems like it's more. I mean, we're trying to get people in New York, so like if the main guy is in Texas and he's just gonna fly in and do his stuff, and then the majority of the band is gonna be here, so we can actually start performing and rehearsing together and everything. But yeah, it's hard to do symphonic metal. I mean, you gotta find people that can do this shit. Like who? It's New York. Like it's but I know this is a completely different way from what you guys are doing, because I do the whole like YouTube thing and I have like a bit of a following here and everything, but hopefully I'll be able to leverage that into like people actually, maybe musicians finding me and like, oh, like let's do some shit, so that's where I am. I mean, I'm in like 3 bands right now, so
okay,
not like I am in 3 bands right now, so one of which actually is in New York, so we'll see. But I feel like I'm gonna just do what I do, and I actually have, now that thanks to you, I actually found a teacher who can teach me correctly what to do without hurting my vocals and without spending 10 years of figuring out how to growl correctly. And I have like big hopes for that, because at this point I'm still doing Lunar Rhapsody, I'm still doing everything else, but I want to take a few months, half a year, to really get those growls and then do something like with my operatic vocals and my growls, because I don't think there's a lot of that from one person. You know, like girls do growl and sing, but I have those like kind of like academic, like operatic vocals.
Yep.
So that's what I'm trying to focus on right now, because I've been recording, and at some point, even my producer, he was like, focus on those growls. You have a great idea. So that's where I am. That's my very long answer to your question. But I'm excited, and I love growls, and I love this aggressive music, and to leverage the fact that I can actually sing, and I can actually sing those like operatic vocals. And now I have an amazing teacher. I feel like my when things come together, I feel like I still need to get there, like I still have 6 months at least to really get where I need to get. That's my answer.
You think so? So long?
I mean, I want to do it in a month, but Konstantin is like, yo, chill. Like, I feel like, well, we can talk about after we finish, because right now it's not about me now. I got the point of where it is. I'll play it to you. I got the point where расщепление, like that, where it comes. Now I just have to make it more powerful. So I'm talking 6 months when I'm going to be doing fucking covers, on YouTube of like, all of those big, including my operatic vocals. So that's that. All right. I can talk about this forever. Let's finish this up. All right, guys. So today with us, Alex Duraev, who probably might be one of the people in my life that will be responsible for my career in metal, because without him, I don't think I would ever found a teacher and actually started to learn correctly how to produce certain sounds. So thanks to you, Alex, for contacting me, I guess, and then actually us becoming friends and everything. So guys, check them out. Again, probably the only band that does everything organically, does everything themselves, to the point where they're building a fucking throne in the woods by themselves. And I feel like they definitely deserve recognition. So we're going to be on lookout for your Halloween stuff. Send me your Halloween stuff, and we're going to do reaction video during my live stream on that. So check that out. And yeah, we're going to be waiting for more from you, Alex, and then we're going to go on tour together.
Yeah. Thanks, Asya. Thanks to everyone who's gonna watch this video, and props to the lovely sweeties in my band. props to our sound guy Christian Donaldson from Cryptoxy, and to everyone who helped us with the videos, and all the good people in the world.
All right, guys, my name is Anastasia Luna. Thank you for checking out my channel. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, because it really helps me out. And if you like the channel itself, please subscribe. Thank you so much, Alex. More of your band coming to my channel very soon, and this was awesome.